All right, in the best interest of time, we are going to be swiftly flying to our next session. This is going to be a panel discussion on selling a dream, not a floor plan, the developer as a storyteller. This is going to be quite interesting indeed. The conversation is going to be on selling a dream, not a floor plan, I beg your pardon, the developer as a storyteller. I'm going to be announcing our honorable moderator and speakers on stage over here to moderate this talk. We have with us the honorable partner of Wisebiz Developers, who's also the joint treasurer, NAREDCO NextGen National. He's a distinguished leader in the Indian real estate sector. With a robust commitment to sustainable development, he is dedicated to elevating the standards of real estate through innovative practices, and he was recently appointed as the National Steering Board Committee of the Indian Green Building Council, IGBC. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Chintan Vasani. May I please have Mr. Chintan Vasani over here? Good to see you. Thank you. Can we have the display over here so that our speakers take the seats? You need to take that seat at the corner. Thank you. I request all my speakers to please kindly take the seats as per the photo arrangement over here. Thank you so much, Mr. Vasani, for taking your seat. I'm now going to be calling up on stage our speakers in alphabetical order. My first speaker over here, he's a Senior Vice President and Head of B2B to G Sales at GM Modular. He's a seasoned professional with over 30 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, and solution selling across brand, building, construction, home improvement, hardware, and premium luxury durables. Please give it up for Mr. Deepak Sapru. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. My next speaker is backed by over 2 decades of experience across residential, commercial, retail, hospitality, and pre-lease segments, and it brings a blend of strategic leadership and operational depth. Prior to joining Mayfair Housing, he was associated with Dosti Realty Limited for nearly a decade, where he served as a director, sales, marketing, and pre-sales sourcing. Please give it up for Mr. Nitin Nagpal. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Nagpal ji, for being with us over here. Pleasure to have you. My next speaker over here, with over 18 years of cross-functional experience spanning real estate, management consulting, and capital markets, he brings a wealth of strategic and operational expertise. His global exposure and deep industry insight have been absolutely instrumental in strengthening Peninsula Land's position as a forward-thinking and customer-centric real estate brand. Please give it up for Mr. Siddharth Setia, President, Business Development, Project Design and Revenue, S&M CRM Peninsula Land Limited. Thank you so much, Mr. Setia, for joining us over here. My next speaker over here began his entrepreneurial journey at the mere age of just 16 and formally entered the real estate world through an apprenticeship in real estate consulting during his final year of studies. In 2017, he played a key role in facilitating a retirement home collaboration and experience that shaped his long-term vision for structured, service-led and purpose-driven senior living in India. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Mr. Kushal Ramesh, co-founder, Manasum Senior Living. Thank you so much, Kushal ji, for joining us over here. And the stage is set, the panel is ready. My friend Mr. Vasani is also ready. The timing is over here. And I request all of you to clap a little loudly for them, please, to set the tone right. And over to you.
Thank you. Round of applause for the great MC. He's doing a great job. Zordar talia uske liye. Thank you, Realty Plus, for having my strong panel and me today for this interesting conversation. Thank you मेरे behalf में, क्योंकि मुझे आज questions पूछने का chance मिल रहा है rather than answering. वो बहुत मजा आने वाला है. Selling a dream, not a floor plan. A very interesting topic. Let's start with a show of hand. In the room, how many of you have bought, sold, or tempted to buy a dream rather than a plan? सबका हाथ ऊपर होने वाला ही था, मेरे को बताया था. प्लीज सबको हाथ ऊपर करना है. 100% ये होता ही है. So you guys are in the right place, क्योंकि when we were having coffee before we started this conversation, internal sources के through मुझे आपके साथ एक figure share करना है कि collectively contribution to Indian real estate in the last 5 years of the panel today on my like the real estate developers, of course GM is doing a very interesting thing, but 10,000 crores का Indian rupees का contribution हुआ है last 5 years में by the panel who is sitting. Let's give a round of applause to them. So we are at the right place to understand selling a dream and not a floor plan. Let me start with you. Where does the story begin according to you?
Uh, so I think to answer that question, I'll have to probably, I think it's a journey that's kind of evolved in phases, and probably I'll put that into 3 phases. Prior to 2013, I would say, 15 years prior to that, it was really more of a seller's market. So really, you didn't really need to define a story in great depth. The only story was it's real estate, just buy, it will appreciate. So people would just buy, and month on month the prices will increase. So much so that prices were increasing, far higher than the cost increase. That meant actually that the market situation was also feeding in a bit of inefficiencies, because jitna project zyada delay hoga, the price will further appreciate. So even if the project is getting delayed, people would still end up making more amount of money, right? I think around post 2013 is somewhere the industry started making a shift towards what I would say more like a buyer's market, wherein it wasn't as simplistic. People would just not buy just because you've launched and it's real estate. You needed to communicate with people. I think at that point in time, within the developer community, I think we all went back, understood what our product is meaning for the customer, and we started communicating the benefits that our project is bringing to people. So we start talking about amenities and features and luxury and et cetera, et cetera. I think that went on, which was the second phase. And now I think the third phase, which I would say is the current phase that we are in right now, is where it's gone to a point wherein the story needs to be first understood. The discussion has moved from boardrooms in the developer's office to in the field. So most of the developers today have a well-defined roles in market research, somebody doing market research, somebody doing customer insights, who would go into the market to understand that, okay, if this is the market I want to sell, what are people buying here? What is the offerings that they are today getting? What should I do? And so everyone has, most of the developers have like a well-defined market research and customer insight responsibilities within their team. And that is now feeding back into the design. So the story is now, what I would say, just to summarize, in the first phase, the story was more macro, that it's real estate, just invest. Then the story became more from a seller to a buyer, just communicating the product features, still in its early days. And now in its third phase, it started having a feedback loop from the actual buyer in the market and taking those insights and feeding it back to, I would say, design. So yeah, I think that's how I would say.
Nitin, let me come quickly to you. You want to add something?
Yeah, maybe just wanted to add, I mean, like you told, it's an evolution of the whole selling, the dream, right? I think today's dream, especially for India, is too personal, I think, right? Because for any developers or anybody into real estate who's launching a new product today, it's about how personal can you get into every individual who comes and lives in your project, right? If you can understand the persona first, and then I think you can convert any land, any building to what you, especially you create homes for people to love to go back to home, right? So I think today's dream is about how can you get engaged to what extent of your personal choice or personal dream that every individual has.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nitin, a very similar question. How do you define the dream you're selling for a new project in Mumbai or any other city? And what customer insight or research actually shaped the entire narrative?
Well, for me, it's little interesting because I think gone are the days where developer used to just buy land and sell. I think today, before buying a land parcel, there is a lot of study needs to be done in terms of, the right kind of audience who are going to buy, what kind of requirements will they have, what kind of amenities should we provide them, what kind of sizes should we sell, because in Mumbai I think connectivity also is very, very important. So I have seen that people don't mind, customers don't mind compromising and ensuring that they cut their travel distance by half an hour. They don't mind going in a slightly smarter, a so-called a 3 BHK or a 2 BHK or whatever that size or configuration would be. So keeping all these factors in mind, the step one is before buying a land, we need to do that study, which which has become very important at this point of time. Now, as I said, even though whatever developer does or whatever we do, ultimately there is also a set of customers who will probably not value these things and will ask one question, kitne mein milega? What is my landing cost? So even though that is important, pricing is important, which is there, but yes, there are customers who are willing to pay that kind of value. So when we are selling a dream home, we have to keep all these factors in mind, which I said is basically the amenities, the right TG, the connectivity, the right size of apartments, and at the same time, I don't think just by doing these things, we will still be able to sell. There are many other things which are involved, like we need to give them some vision on how this location, wherever the property is going to develop and why. What are the future developments which are planned in and around the surrounding where the land parcel is, which is very, very important. It is also important for a customer or for a developer to inform that what kind of price appreciation will happen and why will it happen. So once we give this kind of confidence to the customers, I'm sure that's the dream. I'm sure everybody has a dream to buy a house, but everybody also dreams that I should get possession on time. I should probably buy a project from a developer that whatever amenities has been promised has been delivered, or maybe more than that. And also there is a price appreciation. So I think there's not one or two things, but there are many things involved in this entire journey. And it may sound very easy that selling a dream home, but 10 things or 5 things are basics for everybody who are buying a house, which I think I've covered. So we have to see that all these things are there in place before buying a land parcel.
Super. Deepak ji, let me come to you. I'm a Gujarati and I love traveling. Because I'm Gujarati, I go to all the Navratris across India, across Mumbai, and I always see a GM sponsoring that Navratri, having big hoardings. And whenever I'm traveling across India, airports mein aap log ka jo placement hota hai, were out of the world. But there is one very interesting thing that you do. You always have brand ambassadors. अनुराग जी ने जैसे आज का दिन स्टार्ट किया, उन्होंने बोला मुझे पता नहीं है कि एली साहब या हैविंग जेकब एंड को से सेल्स में कितना डिफरेंस आता है. Of course, we have M3M guys coming, तो मेरे को समझना है कि वो करने से actually कितना pricing में उनको benefit मिला, because it's a very interesting thing what they are doing, and we are, as India, we are ready for the global market. आपसे मुझे समझना है सर कि एक brand ambassador के होने से what are the importance और उससे actually sales में क्या difference आता है?
Yeah, thank you for the question. When we talk about this discussion, essentially today we are talking about selling a dream, not a floor plan. And developer is a storyteller. I come in this panel from the side of building material, supplying company, and GM, which I represent today. When you use a celebrity or brand ambassador, Sunil Shetty, now product belongs to the company, but brand belongs to the consumer. So that's a very, very understanding we need to have, and time plays a very big factor into that aspect, that the number of years today the brands are getting built faster in the digital economy, things which we had not heard of 5 years ago. Today we are talking about unicorns. So in social, whatever you see, you get cut across all the micro markets, because you in the real estate tend to deal with the various communities, areas where people would like to be in a certain area. Borivali would be different from a Goregaon, be very different from Bandra, it will be very different from Vashi. So a brand ambassador cuts across, he has about 6.5 million followers on Facebook. So, when somebody is into movies, we love movies, we saw recent success of a movie just out of the blue doing 1,000 crores. I don't want to be endorsing that movie. Coming with a sequel, we had stopped going to movie halls, and suddenly, some disruptive product comes which people were maybe waiting for, and then suddenly it creates a buzz, and then it becomes a viral thing. So we strongly believe that, if you want to grow your brand faster, a celebrity helps in that. And that's why we have been associated. Now currently we are doing the sequel Border 2. and we have a van in which we have a products inside the van. So we can take a product, we have displayed it in front of the Taj Hotel. You can come inside, see your switches, see your switch gears, you can see your LED lights, and we can come closer to the consumer with a movable display. So that's what we are trying to do here.
Super. If you can add something, because I know you have been instrumental in campaigns having big Bollywood stars in the past.
Well, yes, with my experience, have taken many brand ambassadors, and I would probably say that, ultimately customer will, I think it's difficult for a customer to pay a premium because there is a brand ambassador. But however, said and done, we still need a brand ambassador. Why? Because brand ambassador will help us to increase the visibility. And I think that is one. And second, the brand ambassador cannot be a random brand ambassador. What is your company's vision, thought processes, and you have to align with that. But yes, I mean, we are seeing that, from past couple of years, many brands have associated and taken brand ambassadors on board. Visibility will increase. That is for sure. Maybe sometime, somewhere, depending on how you market yourself, probably a slight 3% plus minus here and there, you can command a premium as well. But it's very subjective. It's very subjective.
I think if I could add to that, little simplistically speaking, I think all brand ambassadors have an aura, right? They have an aura, they have a brand, they have a persona, and they are each one of them, each of these celebrities, they're associated with certain values. It's like, you see a celeb 1, you would have a certain traits in your mind. You would say celeb 2, you'll have a certain traits in your mind. And if there is alignment between those traits and the story that you want to communicate, then you made the right choice. And what it helps is that when the viewer is viewing that, he or she, they just get your message more intuitively. True. Because they're able to associate, okay, this is the brand persona, so they naturally get that traits in their mind, and then they're able to understand your messaging more effectively.
True. If you can add something, senior living mein, does it help?
Maybe, yeah, soon we will start. Maybe that quantum of business to, appoint celebrities have not reached yet, and soon definitely we shall be there, undoubtedly. For me, see, celebrities means it's endorsement, right? So for each of us, for buying any product for that matter, that endorsement, a personal endorsement from a family member, a friend, and it's very important. I think when we bring in a celebrity for this endorsement, brand endorsement, celebrity will do 50 to 60% of your job already. Because if Sunil Shetty is, kind of endorsing GM, because through the characters that he has done, you already see a father in him, you already see a brother in him, everybody in that characters, right? So I think that's where we use the celebrities as, more to endorse your product better than, and that's the fuel for your sales, I think.
Superb. I just thought of a question. I think before asking the other questions, मेरे को ये पहले अभी लेना है.
Yeah.
If money is not a problem, आप कौन से brand ambassador को लेना चाहोगे, and वो storytelling में उसको कैसे use करोगे? ये ज़्यादा interesting question है यार, ये drafted से.
Can I come in here?
Yeah. Everyone has to answer. You can start.
So in marketing, first of all,
and money is not an issue. मतलब you can just say like.
So in marketing, the most important thing is who is your TG, right? If you've done your homework on who your target group is, because that's going to be a biggest cohort to whom you're going to be selling. So, sports and Hollywood or Bollywood are always the go-to places. 5-6 years back, the Tata Motors used Lionel Messi as a global brand ambassador because Tata, with this acquisition of Jaguar Land Rover and other brands, it's truly now a global company. So when you take an icon like Messi, I'm sure he's going to be costing a bomb with millions of followers on Insta. He's not going to be, he was here in India very recently, and we see the crazy fan following such kind of icons get who don't, many a times in their lifetime don't get to visit our country. So many of these the global brand icons in sports, I would say. So if money is not a constraint, then you would like to, take a celebrity or who has the maximum amount of following, because visibility makes a big difference. And of course, today in the digital world, whatever happens, second by second, the coverage happens as it is happening live. So you come to know in the real time what's happening, and you want to be clued into it because those people have made a difference, because they have reached the pinnacle in their sport, or in the film acting, I would say, in the movie world, and that's what I would
Super.
endorse.
So have a sports star and have content around sports and Nitin, आपका answer. Out of the box answer चाहिए मुझे.
Out of the box answer है, but I would not like to name any celebrity because the penalty will be very high on me. On a lighter note, because everybody has their rights reserved. तो नाम लेने से पहले थोड़ा दो बार सोचना पड़ता है. So, however, jokes apart, I think yes, if one has to make noise and want everyone to know about the product, then celebrity needs to be there. I may not name, but if we see, celebrities from India are also endorsing in Dubai, and we know the numbers, the sales, what is happening. As I said few minutes back, sales will not happen because of celebrity to an extent, but yes, people who sometime are just thinking, are not able to take decisions, might take decisions because of the celebrity. So celebrity helps. One should think of having a celebrity for sure, if money is not a concern.
Super.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Can't give an interesting answer on that one, but I think no straight answer. Completely depends upon the product and what the product story is. If we've in our experience we've sold houses from 20 lakhs to 50 crore. That's been the range from affordable housing, 20 lakhs to 50 crore in ultra high luxury, couple of premium locations in South Bombay. So really want to fit that one person into it. It all completely depends upon the project, and why not? Which we strongly believe that sometimes we feel that we need to sell, but I would probably caution that assumption itself. Why can't it be, instead of selling, why can't it be that the customer buys? We are not selling, the customer is buying. So why not pick your actual customer persona, like a genuinely common man, genuinely, and make them the celeb. If I was to sell a weekend home, I would rather probably pick a family, couple with their young kids and a pet playing in their pet park in front of their villa, and that's what I would show for me, and that's how I would create. Because
so somewhere making them part of the content that you're producing makes a lot of superb, sir. Second living.
Yeah. So
senior living. Sorry.
Yeah, let me take advantage of your question, because you asked, money is not a problem, and then you need to appoint somebody. Think, what's your aspiration? I think I'll give you two views. The first view is our PM himself. Because senior living, according to me, is an enabler. It's not about, you are slowing down the life only, but not about only relaxing, right? Today's aspiration for somebody who's 60 or 70, you ask, there's so many things, So senior living is more of an enabler. So I think he's a perfect example for the kind of zeal that he wakes up at 4 a.m. every day to think of what he can do better for the world, what can he do better for the country today, right? So that's the first choice. If you ask me a typical celebrity, right, then I would, a typical Bollywood stardom has reached its retirement age, if you all see. All the Shah Rukh, Salman, Sanjay Dutt, everybody is in their, retirement age for that. Or rather I would say a typical senior citizen age that they're reaching. So I would want to pick, their second innings. What are they doing in their second innings? Today, I think Shah Rukh Khan is doing much better than what he was doing 20, 30 years before in his stardom today when he's reaching his, late 50s. And Sunil Shetty is getting into wellness. And so many people in Bollywood today are getting into wellness and how to make the second innings a better place for them. I think so. I would line up every other person in Bollywood, who is reaching their 60 to be part of my brand ambassador team.
Super answer. Super. Let's give a round of applause to all of them. Siddharth, you have presence across Mumbai, across multiple tier 1, tier 2 cities of India. I want to understand, how do you scale a unified brand story while adapting to the local culture, languages and lifestyle expectation across markets? Us pe aap kaise, how do you take all of that under consideration when you are telling a story?
So, we had, in our experience over the last decade or so, we did stuff in Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Goa, Lonavala, etc. But I think other than cities, we were also into multiple asset classes. Like I said earlier, we were doing affordable housing segment, we were doing a mid-income segment, we were doing a luxury segment, high-end luxury. So again, there were wide variety that gave us the chance to also, chance and a challenge. The challenge was to understand a customer insights and psychology over a very wide variety of people, right? And the common pattern that we found is that wherever you go, if devil lies in the details. Just take the discussion out from the boardroom, not do it, not do your drawing board and vision basis what, let's say, the board, promoters, senior management feels should work. Not think of the product in our mind and let it evolve organically. So real case study example I would probably pick from, let's say, an affordable housing product. So in affordable housing, obviously the key lies in to be able to deliver at a certain cost. Only then you can price it properly and make it affordable, right? So really had to get down into the nitty-gritties of what are the features that really the must-haves, what are the good-to-haves, right? So we did an interesting exercise at our site that we made a budget and we asked prospective customers that these are the features, finishing, materials, and the kind of amenities that we can provide you. And he ticked, okay, the person ticked, okay, these are the things I want. And then he said, okay, now I'm reducing this budget to half. Now instead of 1 crore, I want you to rethink back onto the same questionnaire and do it if you can only do 50 lakhs. Then I started seeing, okay, some crosses coming in. I said, okay, now think back if I was to do even 30 lakhs. Then more crosses started coming in, right? So then you filter out, okay, that this is the must-have, right? Otherwise, everyone. So how do you really identify the needs of the customer? So if you go into those, and honestly, this is not something that is new that we are trying to do in real estate. I think if you go back to the world of, let's say, an FMCG, consumer durables, right? A deep customer insight by well-practiced methodologies of research, getting into focus group discussions, doing surveys, talking to people, looking what they are doing, looking what the offerings are, and then trying to identify patterns from that data. So as our industry also is maturing over a period of time, I think, and as it's becoming more and more customer focused, the methodologies that exist to identify customer needs is something which, if one practices, then you can find easily that, okay, what does a buyer in Bangalore at JP Road really values? Okay, and like, for example, for us, answer to just a top of the line, if I have to give a very short answer, for them at that point in time, it was having a villa kind of a space, but in the sky, because that was a very low-rise development area, right? So for them, just to be able to have a high-rise living and being able to see that far across was a new thing, which if we were designing that product sitting in a Mumbai boardroom, it wouldn't even occur to us because we are so used to high-rise, right? So it wouldn't even occur to us that what they would really value is just being up high in the, it's like villa in the sky was the theme. Sky villa was the theme. But if you take that discussion down to doing a 4,000 per square feet product in Pune, right? And I'll probably pick an example from the building material side. Many things are coming to my mind, but just picking from the example of with Deepak being on the panel, interesting insight was that they really valued what kind of brand of switches is being put in. Because even while they're letting go of on a certain amenities, but that switches tell them, okay, because this is for safety. Right. This is for safety, so it matters even for a 20 lakh, 30 lakh buyer, what material you're putting in. So they had a say in that. So that was otherwise by default you would have missed it maybe.
Interesting.
Just to add to my co-panelist, today in marketing, if you have to sell any product in a market where there is oversupply, if you don't differentiate, you will tend to die, right? So the amenities inside the house, what you are offering, also nowadays many a times is getting, everybody is offering that. So home automation today, digital is the way to go. So builders are wanting to offer digital as an aspect that you can control everything from the panel inside your entire house. Now, what are you offering outside your apartment? So both inside living and outside in the premises is taking precedence, and that's where the differentiation will happen. Why should a consumer buy your product? You need to have a very, very strong proposition, and the differentiation can only happen in terms of the amenities and the benefits you can offer the consumer. Otherwise, he would like to tend to go to someone else in the same micro market.
Superb. Powered by GM. And on a serious note, I have all my switches at my home are from GM.
Thank you, thank you.
नितिन, केस स्टडीज के साथ अगर जब डिस्कशन होता है तो और इंटरेस्टिंग होता है. इफ यू कैन शेयर अस अबाउट अ प्रोजेक्ट, can be yours, can be like your friend's project where you know about, where architecture, landscape and interiors were used to tell a lifestyle story. What compromises or trade-offs did they take to keep the story authentic?
So, I think when any of the salesperson is selling the dream or the apartment to the customer, I remember 15, 20 years back, things were very, very different. You show the apartment and you say this is a price and this is the builder and that's it. I think right now things have changed a bit. Every customer is more knowledgeable. I can say sometimes they have more knowledge than what even we have. And they ask questions to the sales team, which probably my sales team may sometime be in a situation where they are thinking what to do or how to handle a situation. So today, the sales team, has to probably, while selling a dream home, has to, including the developer, has to ensure that you have a good architect, you are associating with a good architect, landscape architect, you're using good materials, and I would say that from past few years, developers have a gallery which takes you the construction gallery, where the salesperson not only shows the show flats and also explain about the project, but he also takes the customer to the construction gallery where every minute thing is kept, what kind of material are we using and why the person should buy and why this architect planning makes more sense than probably somebody else, why this landscape designer is better than the other. So we have to get into so many minute things right now. And I'm sure all of us sitting here would have experienced from past few years that there's a construction museum in most of the projects or are going to have that. We have that. So, so I think everything is important, keeping in mind. It's not only to do with sales, it's also to do with the entire 360-degree experience and the price benefit indirectly which they are getting.
Interesting. I have a very interesting question for all of you. I was going through a data of Bangalore real estate. तो उसमें मुझे पता चला कि 75% of the home buyers who come on the site, उन्होंने अपना पहले जो पूरा understanding है वो online कर लिया रहता है. Even मुंबई में it is anywhere from 60 to 70%. NRIs का काफ़ी investment आता है इंडिया में and across cities. NRIs and time-pressed buyers are increasingly, experiencing projects online. Which digital or hybrid tools have actually moved the needle for your particular project, so which the audience can learn from your personal experience? Want me to start? You can start.
Yeah. So.
We have a very dear friend of mine, Sangeet. I hope you are fine. Let's give a round of applause to him because I remember when I just started my real estate journey, जब मैंने just मेरा real estate company start किया था, मेरा development firm, मैंने सबसे पहला एक MCHI क्रेडाई का event attend किया था. उसमें moderator संगीत थे. तो let's give a round of applause. संगीत भाई आपसे inspire होके inspire होके I started going on stage and everyone. Thank you so much. Yes,
Lovely.
bro.
Yeah. So, with this time-pressed living today, especially for senior living, we have a primary influencer and secondary influencer who kind of mostly is a joint decision to buy senior living homes, right? Yeah, today is a world where somebody sitting in US, somebody sitting in Canada does all the research online. So it's a challenge for us when we design the marketing tools. How quick, in the minimal time that they have, can we give maximum information to the person who is living away from the city that we are selling? And the second, and the same influencer who is kind of influencing the person who is in Bangalore to sell for their parents, we should give as much as elaborated information possible because they have enough time to see the same online. So I think we have videos which are as minimal as 30 seconds, which tell the same story, which gives the same information. And we have a 30-minute video, which gives the detailed information, which we have still kind of covered it in 30 seconds. So I think both of them are today very relevant in marketing any project today. And of course, when the building is not there, your amenities are not there, how well can you articulate in your AR, VR is very important. And today we are also fast forward 5 years before giving them, AR glasses, VR glasses to go sit inside the room. Even that era is gone. You can't expect a person to come and stay for half an hour to see that long format video anymore. So it's about you give them the whole building to, kind of navigate wherever they want to see what they want to see is the world that we are, in today.
Interesting. Siddharth, if you can add something.
I think hands down, obviously social media. It's kind of taken its place from 10 years back. Actually, interestingly, I was part of a technology forum and the topic there was, can social media generate business? Because at that point in time, it was just about friends and family networking and just, it was its usage was largely limited for social interactions, right? That was the thing. So then at that point in time, it used to occupy, the last, when you allocating a budget and then you have a balancing figure. Now allocated to the major heads and there is a balancing figure, social media mein dal do. Something will happen. Today, I think that place has obviously come on the top.
Today we'll only going to ask everybody sitting in the room today that is anybody able to do business without social media?
Without social media.
10 years down.
So I think that's obviously taken its position on top in terms of reaching to a wide audience in a very short period of time. Second is I think how the content is being distributed. Content is no longer the attention span is shorter. From firstly, nobody likes to read and go through and to be told, so it moved to video, right? In that video earlier used to be like a 2-minute video, 1 minute. These days the guidelines are to keep it under 40 seconds. In fact, stats say that you have your 80% drop-off rate after 10 seconds.
7 seconds.
Exactly. So if you've gotten, like literally in that 10 seconds, if you've hooked, then the person will see till 40 seconds. Otherwise, so that obviously is something, just because you made a video, not necessarily it's going to get consumed, but you got to keep it crisp and tight. And third, I would say is that people are quite informed today and they want to have a little self-service experience before you jump into sell. So when people come for site visits and in fact, in a lot of cases, I've had experiences where people say, just send us the location pin.
हम लोग हमारा कर लेंगे.
हम देख लेंगे, आपको बताएंगे. So, which is, and we need to respect that. We need to respect that boundary. In retail management, interestingly, there's a very well-defined theory wherein when the customer is walking in your store, I'm taking a retail store as an easy example that we can understand, and you would see that in a lot of luxury product selling. When you walk in inside a store, for a good 4-5 meters till you've walked in, nobody's going to approach you. Nobody's going to approach you. If it's a massy product and a very, very highly, like a low involved selling, you're at the gate and somebody's going to approach you. What are you looking at? What do you want, right? So you got to wait for the customer to come in and then you.
The selling team अपने हाथ में है, पर brokers ने approach किया वो अपने हाथ में नहीं था tagging के लिए. उसका कोई वो नहीं था. Nitin, if you can add something.
So I think that's my personal opinion that today still Indian customers are very emotional. They even though there is nothing at the land parcel where the developer has launched the project, they still want to physically go and have a round and see it. That emotional touch is something which is still exists, whether it's a 50 lakh property or even if it's a 4-5 crore property. However, whatever said and done, I think the new gadgets, the VR and all these experience is helping to create curiosity. NRI is sitting or somebody who wants to buy in Bombay is not in Bombay today, they can actually see, what kind of view will they get from 15th floor? Yeah. What is in and around that location? Actual from your house. Believe me, I'm sure most of us are aware of that. So not only that, to an extent that how the night view would be, actual real drone shoot, and from that particular floor, how your night view would be, what time sunlight will come. I mean, I was amazed to see, and I was like asking the vendor, are you serious? A few years back. So all these things, when a person is not in the city, say in Mumbai for an example, and he wants to buy, but when you share these videos or this experience with that person, I'm sure the conversion ratio increases, and that's the reason why we are seeing now that people are buying from outside Mumbai, in Mumbai, even though they're not physically here. They might tell their friend or relative to go and have a quick round at the site, but because of this, there is a curiosity, they're liking it, and they are actually taking decisions, and even NRIs are buying, and conversion has gone up by few percent.
Superb. So my next question, we have 2 minutes 48 seconds. Let's do total justice to the question. And this is something Deepak ji, I think आप बहुत अच्छी तरह relate कर पाओगे with the other panelist. The developer has a story to talk about. The top level management, the CMO, they have a story. The CEO, the COO. But at the end of the day, the sales team, वो लोग सबसे ज़्यादा बड़ा connector है मेरे client के साथ. How important it is to train them, enable your sales force to tell the story convincingly across different languages, across different buyer segments, and how do you measure the storytelling effectiveness? Let me start with you, sir.
Yeah, it's very important because as we heard a little while back, the consumer today is well informed, globally traveled, he knows the brands and he's expecting such kind of products. So the salesperson needs to be very, very solid in terms of whatever is the feature, advantage, benefits being offered by the developer. As I said, inside the home and outside, he should be well versed with it. If you are offering something, as a bath fitting from say Europe, don't say that I'm offering you an American bath fitting, because I have seen when I've been a customer that the salesperson with so much of confidence is telling something which is totally wrong, maybe because he has not been handholded. He has just been told to just start the old traditional way that I'm selling a square feet and I'm getting into financial plans. Today it's dramatically changed. There are whenever you walk into a builder's office these days at site, you're professionally attended, your data is taken, you're filled a form. Some bit of knowledge seeking is being done, that what is he seeking in terms of not only just apartment size, 1, 2, 3, 4 BHK, trying to understand what his real needs are. And there the salesperson makes a difference, because in any kind of sales, the salesperson first has to sell himself, then only you'll be able to sell anything else, whether it's real estate, which is high ticket size, or any product for that matter.
Super. Nitin, if you can quickly.
So very quickly, I would like to say that, with my experience, my channel partner stroke brokers are very, very important. They are like part of my sales team. My 70% business is done through channel partners, and I would encourage more channel partner business. I don't think I come from a thought that, we should not have channel partners. Why I'm specifically mentioning that in this forum is you mentioned sales. I think when the customer walks in with the channel partner, my sales team says, sir, 50%, 60%, I'm sure this customer is going to buy, conversion will be higher, because my channel partner friend has given that confidence about the product, about the developer. So channel partners are very, very important. Coming back, yes, what certain calls we take some time on the floor is where, where we don't allot the leads on a round robin basis, where we know that you have a salesperson who's from a certain community and there's a family. We normally tell that person to connect, because that it becomes easier for communication. And selling is definitely, as I said a few minutes back, that we don't have to just talk about pricing and area in square feet. We have to give the total 360-degree experience to the customers, right from what material we are using, to pricing, to the scheme, to the location development which is planned in future, and how the prices will appreciate. So I think all these informations are very, very important for the customer and for my sales team.
Super. Siddharth.
Yeah, so I think quickly, we obviously, in our case, we tell our sales team the product features and the basics, so that so as to avoid any mis-selling, what Deepak was saying. So that's like the hygiene that has to be maintained so that there is no mis-selling. So we obviously train them on all the traits of the product. After that, I think we kind of train them on the USPs or the elements of the story. And the third is the key part, wherein then we let them stitch that story depending upon the client. Because we strongly believe that it should not be one story. If there is one project, and if you are visiting, your needs and your wants are different than his, it's different than mine. So the salesperson needs to identify what you value, need to pick up the elements of the project that appeals to you, and then create a story. True. And in that, I think, like Nitin was saying, I'll probably would, completely double down on that the feedback from channel partners becomes very important, because in channel partners leads, we get a feedback when the lead is coming in that, okay, he is so-and-so, he in his family has so-and-so, this is what he is looking at, this is what he values. He tells that upfront. So then we let the salesperson create the story depending upon what our traits and USPs of the project are.
If you can add something.
Yeah, quickly I will add something that, sales in any product, whether it's building or anywhere, sales is something, let's say we are selling a chair. It's not about the features of the chair, because features of the chair is always black and white. How, like he told, how a person is enjoying on the chair is what you're selling. That is the training that we need to give to the, from the top-down sales team today. Funny story, like in senior living, we sell services more than the building, right? Because that's the intangible that we are selling. How they're going to come in and enjoying through the, whole livelihood is what we are selling. 2 years back when we sold a unit to somebody from a tier 3 village, son is buying to the mother. So salesperson has told that you'll get, Bisleri water in your house. So the moment she moved into our property after 2 months, she started, when I went, she told, your person told that I'll get Bisleri water. He's not giving me Bisleri cans. It was a miscommunication that we are giving you RO water. So he thought that she would understand Bisleri more than RO. But she, mistook it to that you're giving Bisleri bottles to her house every day. So it's very, very important how you communicate, and the authenticity, the authenticity in your conversation is very, very important. That's where the buyer gets clarity,
Superb. So to quickly sum up, storytelling, super important, but authentic storytelling is what is required. Having feedback from everyone who's connected to your business, important. Brand ambassadors can actually push, but if you can take your brand ambassadors and take the content, उसके अराउंड अगर आप कुछ बनाओ, स्टोरी टेलिंग में हेल्प करो विद अ प्रॉपर प्लानिंग, इट वर्क्स. माई स्ट्रॉन्ग पैनल 10,000 crore के ऊपर का उन्होंने सेल किया लास्ट 5 years में. सो आई एम श्योरली इट इज लाइक अ मास्टर क्लास. थैंक यू सो मच. मुझे तो बहुत सीखने मिला. लेट्स गिव अ राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज टू देम, एंड थैंक यू रियल्टी.
Thank you so much to Mr. Chintan and everybody over here on this panel. I'll request all of you to remain on stage. I'm going to be calling upon stage Mr. Amit Baid, founder and creative director, ABC Brand Advisory, on stage, please, to kindly give the token of appreciation to our esteemed speakers. Can we please have Mr. Baid on stage? Yes, he is coming. Thank you. Do we have the token of appreciations ready? Request all of you to kindly wait on stage and give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for such a beautiful, beautiful, interesting and engaging conversation. Thank you so much. We'll just do a nice quick group photo with all of you together over here, please. Can we do a nice group photograph quickly, all of you over here? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your moment to clap and appreciate for this wonderful, wonderful panel. Thank you so much for adding so much value and insights to this conversation. We loved every bit of it.